It's been a year and a half since we were blessed with the latest Iron Maiden album, Senjutsu.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And so it's just about time when most Maiden fans start craving for new material by the band. Which, since it's not the 80s anymore, of course is not coming anytime soon.
It's just outrageous.
But the good thing is that this is why we have the solo projects by the boys, and since a new Bruce Dickinson album is pretty much confirmed, let's take a look at everything we know so far about Iron Maiden's vocalist's upcoming studio effort and discuss whether it might bear many more surprises than we originally expected. Here you go. Very quick before we start, guys, as always, please do not hesitate to comment on anything you hear or see in this video, and especially if I missed something or you disagree with me, because the whole point of our Up the Irons series is, of course, to start a conversation. But alright, let's do it. Bruce Dickinson's 7th studio album has been in making since the release of Tyranny of Souls, which saw the light of day all the way back in 2005. So that's 18 years! Of course, making this the longest break Bruce Dickinson has ever had in his professional career. And although last year Bruce mentioned that it was only 50 to 70% done, during his spoken word tour in Europe this year, he's confirmed that after a long 18 years of being in the making, his follow-up to Tyranny of Souls is finally ready.
Okay, when are we going to hear some new solo material? Soon.
But there is still one little obstacle between today and its release date. Yet this time is a rather pleasant one. During his shows in Norway and Finland, Bruce Dickinson said that we will get to hear his new studio output right after the end of the Future Past tour, which, if the band does not add any additional dates to it either in the United States or in Latin America, has to add somewhere around mid-August this year, making it safe for us to assume Bruce Dickinson's 7th studio album will be released somewhere in September or October, so roughly 2 years after the release of Senjutsu. But given the fact that rock musicians pretty much hate releasing new albums in November or December and are very hesitant to do so in January,
exactly,
if Iron Maiden adds additional lag to their The Future Past tour, then we might not hear the new Bruce Dickinson album all the way until February next year.
Why, God, why?
But to be honest with you, I'm more inclined to believe in the first scenario. Although that of course raises a rather uncomfortable question of when and if Iron Maiden will finally play Alexander the Great in the United States and Latin America. But the coolest thing about this announcement is that in addition to just releasing new music, Bruce Dickinson is actually set to do something that he hasn't done for far longer than releasing new albums. Go on a solo tour.
There's some other stuff that I'm doing around it. We'll have fun. And there will be a tour.
For the last couple of years, a Bruce Dickinson tour has been shaded with him actually going on a spoken word tour, either promoting his latest autobiography book, What Does This Button Do?, or simply talking about, well, stuff.
Wisdom. Let it be. Bingo!
In fact, Bruce played 0 shows in support of his latest studio album, The Tyranny of Souls, and the last time he embarked on a proper tour was all the way back in 2002. And so the fact that the vocalist has confirmed his upcoming tour, and even more, even promised that there will be something very, very special around it, makes it a very, very anticipated occasion for every Iron Maiden fan. At least I would definitely love to see it. But the truth is that at this point I'm just very eager to see pretty much any heavy metal show by my favorite bands. As of today, it actually has been more than a year that I and millions of other Ukrainians were actually not able to see pretty much any shows. And so I just want to take a moment and thank you guys all for all the support you're showing to me and to Ukraine through this very, very difficult time. Please don't forget that the biggest war in the middle of Europe is still going on and there are people dying here every day. And please do not allow anyone to ever blame the victim for the atrocities of the aggressor. So I guess the most realistic scenario is for Bruce Dickinson to be on the road sometime around January or February 2024. So roughly around the same time when Steve Harris goes on a tour with his British line, or Smith and Coulson play their shows. So you know what I'm thinking. Wouldn't it be absolutely kick-ass if the 3 Iron Maiden solo projects would meet sometime on the road and play at least one show together? Especially since there might be another reason for them to meet up on the road. We all of course know that just like on almost every Bruce Dickinson solo album, on his upcoming record the vocalist is working together with the guitarist and the producer Roy Z, who actually is rather well known for working with some of the greatest vocalists in the world, as in case you didn't know that, he also happens to be a member and the producer of Rob Halford's studio works. During multiple interviews in the recent time, Bruce Dickinson pointed out that even when he's not available and he's on tour with either Iron Maiden or promoting his book, it is Roy Z who is still working on the music for the upcoming record and prepares the backing tracks so that when Bruce is available, he will fly over to Los Angeles to meet with Roy Z and finally finish his 7th studio album.
Right now, I'm just focusing on things with Bruce. It sounds fabulous and all that.
Any idea
Actually
when?
sounds brilliant.
And so now when his spoken word tour is over, would of course be the best time for him to do exactly that. And now we come to the most interesting part. Since just recently one of the greatest rock photographers of all time, Ross Halford, posted on his social media pictures of him accidentally running into Bruce Dickinson in LA, which of course is rather understandable, although he was actually not alone.
Nice!
We all of course know that during the 1990s period, Adrian Smith was actually a rather important part of the Bruce Dickinson solo project, and of course played guitar on his 4th and 5th studio albums. Yet after returning to Iron Maiden in 1999, the two of course did not work together outside of the band. And so the fact that after 25 years the two might actually work together and write something absolutely new which does not conform to the standards and boundaries of the Iron Maiden sound, without having to think about what will Iron Maiden fans say about this, makes it actually a very, very exciting opportunity. The original title for the upcoming Bruce Dickinson record was supposed to be If Eternity Should Fail, which of course is very well known for every Iron Maiden fan. In fact, the opening track for the Book of Souls was actually supposed to be the title track for Bruce Dickinson's solo album, yet after Steve Harris heard the demo which Bruce Dickinson and Roy Z actually recorded in Roy Z's bedroom, he absolutely loved the song and actually convinced Bruce to include it on the Book of Souls instead. Funny thing is that the spoken word in the end of If Eternity Should Fail was actually supposed to be the beginning of a storyline for the album. And Bruce Dickinson actually brought it to Steve's attention, you know, the fact that it actually introduces something and then nothing else happens for the rest of the Book of Souls, to which Steve Harris just said, nah, sounds metal, it's all great. But from this spoken word at the end of the song, and from the bits of interviews which Bruce Dickinson has given throughout the years, we can actually figure out that if Bruce hasn't completely changed his idea, the future record might actually be the first concept album by Bruce Dickinson, in which the evil Dr. Necropolis introduced in If Eternity Should Fail steals the souls of man, and of course the soul's journey to regain their freedom.
Eternity is nothing but a short while.
But the coolest thing is that back in a 2017 interview, Bruce Dickinson actually pointed out that he might still include If Eternity Should Fail on his upcoming studio album. And given the fact that it is actually one of the strongest tracks on the Book of Souls, and musically might actually be in my top 10 of the post-reunion era Iron Maiden tracks, it would be absolutely amazing to hear a different rendition of this song done by Bruce Dickinson, Roy Z, and possibly Adrian Smith. But this is of course only true if Bruce Dickinson is still set on sticking to his idea of making this a concept album. And I guess since the wait is almost over, we will find out in just a couple of months. And what do you guys personally think about Bruce Dickinson's solo career, and are you excited for his upcoming studio record? Please let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!